Mississippi's trusted weather experts. Mississippi Live Weather at 6.
Live Weather at 6.
Welcome in to Mississippi Live Weather at 6. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon. We had a lot of thunderstorms earlier on. Those have largely since moved out. But we have, I think, a stormy weekend ahead with some severe weather chances for, in particular, Saturday and Saturday night, and possibly extending into your Sunday. Hour-by-hour forecast this evening, maybe 10% on that rain chance. Only really showers out there. I show 90. A lot of folks a little cooler than that. We're 81 by 10. 78s look toward 1 o'clock in the morning with some mid-70s on the way as we head toward the beginning of tomorrow. And I think we'll be a little hotter in the afternoon. So again, we're done with storm as far as severe storms this evening. Nothing like that on the way. But I do think that we're going to have chances, in particular, with kind of a complex of storms that's going to work out of Arkansas and into our area, Arkansas and Tennessee, and move in. We're timing that out. That's probably the most critical part of this, how that times out. We'll look at that in more detail here in a couple minutes. And then walking in Saltillo, that's our Emily Leonard. Emily, maybe a little reference there to walking in Memphis, but we have the possibility to maybe do a better stroll in Saltillo going forward, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The city is working on a walking track. This is a $500,000 project to connect the city park to the Webb Sportsplex. I think this is going to be fantastic. Our kids grew up going to the Saltillo Park, and so I may have thrown in some pictures and videos of our kids from way back when on this one. Just a little nostalgia, but I think it's really going to give the park a little bit of a oomph and really take it up a level.
Okay, excited to hear more about that. Appreciate that, Emily, coming up with Mississippi Live News here in a few minutes. So, as we referenced a moment ago, our top story this evening, we had some storms. Those have since diminished. No additional severe weather likely for tonight. The risk for your Saturday extends all the way down closer to the US 82 corridor. Hold on, Caleb's is on too. For whatever reason, no, it looks like it's off now.
You're hollow.
I'm hollow? Hold on. Let's double check. It looks like I have double microphone on right now. I appreciate that one, Emily. We'll just pop that. That should be better. Let me know if that worked better back there. We're good? Okay. Thank God I have somebody cleaning up after my mess. Most of the stuff works most of the time, but as you can see, the storm chances for tomorrow near the Tennessee state line, wind in particular, the main impact that I think we probably run into there. And then as far as severe storms on Sunday, not an impossibility. I think early in the day, the most likely time period. I want to bring in our meteorologist, Caleb Edelblut. It's in our Tupelo studios. And Caleb, what we're looking at here is, some storm pictures from today that folks have sent in. Luckily, not much in the way of damage pictures, right?
Yes, no, definitely enjoy showing you guys these pictures instead of some damage reports that y'all have sent in. We've had to do that throughout the past few weeks, but this time I'm just fortunate enough to show y'all some cool gray clouds out there that y'all have captured. We're just seeing a whole lot of storm clouds that you guys have submitted through the app, just kind of as these storms made their way closer and closer towards you guys. And so thankfully not really showing you guys anything intense. We haven't had any of those storms reach that severe limit today. That was always a positive. Let me take a look at kind of almost the waves up there, just seeing all of that. So beautiful clouds, and thankfully nothing too intense as they made their way through North Mississippi this evening.
Absolutely. Thankfully, very thankful for that. And a reminder that you can submit your pictures using the Mississippi Live app for iOS and Android devices. We also stream live on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. We had a little internet disruption earlier. I think we've got that all straightened out. All things considered, lucky that we don't have that more often, but certainly things are looking good now. And make sure you have that app so you can catch the latest on where those storms are headed, when they're headed. But they're none headed out there. As you can see, they've all collapsed as of now on Mama Justice Doppler radar. So we'll go a little wider here. Just the leftover cloud cover probably makes for a pretty nice sunset. We do have a front back to the north and west, and this front will help us to bring in some slightly cooler air once it arrives, or at least gets close enough to really bring us quite a few showers. And I think that does happen as we look toward the first of next week. But all that activity staying north of us for today, and for our friends maybe heading down toward the coast for a weekend here. looking like the conditions staying dry down for Gulfport and back out toward Pensacola and Panama City Beach for this evening and tonight, as well as most of the state of Mississippi. As you can see, we are in the clear, mostly clear skies to begin the day, and I think we end up fairly hot by afternoon as a result. We'll have the sunshine, we'll have the humidity, and obviously we'll also have the chances for rain eventually, but I think they're shifted late enough in the day that we can prioritize that sunshine. 92 feeling like 100 and yuck with those heat advisories unfortunately in effect as we look toward tomorrow. After starting off 72, if you need to do some mowing of the lawn, maybe that's a law pond thing only, but I need to get out there and do it. I'm sure some folks do. Early is the time period. By afternoon, obviously, it gets rough. Now, come up here in just a few moments on Mississippi Live. Emily again has a look at the latest of your news headlines and a new thing we're starting here on Mississippi Live and looking forward to. It's Mississippi Live. God, I almost forgot what it was, Emily. It's Local Fun Matters. You want to know what's going on in the region? She'll have that for you as Mississippi Live continues here in 60 seconds.
Looking for a place to finally call home? At Tupelo Home Center, we make it easy. From finding the perfect home to making financing a breeze, we'll take care of everything. Your new home is closer than you think. Pre-qualify today at tupelohomecenter.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for Mississippi Live. I'm Emily Leonard. A big happy Friday to you. And it's tax-free weekend in Mississippi, so that means back-to-school shopping just got a little bit cheaper. That annual sales tax holiday runs from now through Sunday midnight. That means you don't have to pay the 7% sales tax on certain items under $100. Yeah, nope. Here's the breakdown. Clothing and school supplies and they count. Accessories and technology don't. Shoes, shirts, jeans, backpacks, they all qualify as long as each item's under $100. Things like jewelry, watches, and computers, they do not qualify. You can find a list of what is and is not eligible on our Facebook page and in the Daily Journal. Also, don't forget to shop local. Saltillo is connecting two parks with a brand new trail. It is called The Connection, a mile-long green space between the W.K. Webb Sportsplex and the Saltillo City Park. Phase 1 is almost done. They're just waiting on paving for a new walking track at the Sportsplex. That should happen within the next couple of weeks. Now, our kids grew up going to the Saltillo City Park, feeling a little nostalgic today. Here's a look at our kids from 2018 playing at the park and not necessarily running on the track, but, hey, they tried. Phase 2 just kicked off this week. Engineers surveying the wooded area between the two parks, rather. The goal, a winding ADA accessible path that takes advantage of the trees and the elevation changes. Construction should start later on this summer. Take about a year. The $500,000 project is funded with some grants from the state. Here on Mississippi Live, local weather matters, local news matters, and local fun matters, you guys. Cue my graphic that Matt made me. I hope you like it. This is when we're going to highlight some of the fun things that are going on in our area, like the Slug Burger Festival that's happening right now in Corinth. There's the little guy. The Slug Burger Festival runs from now through Saturday. Carnival rides, music, a car show, and of course, famous dough burgers, the Slug Burger. A full schedule and ticket prices are in the Daily Corinthian. Also, a mini makers market in Hamilton, Mississippi. Tiny entrepreneurs showing off their handmade items, crafts, and more. Starts at 10 Saturday morning on Hamilton Road. Go support this next generation of makers. And hey, guess what? There's going to be snow cones. And tiny entrepreneurs will be gathering in downtown New Albany for a market there. Kids ages 6 to 21 will showcase their talents from noon to 3 in Cooper Park. There will be about 15 up-and-coming business owners there, so go show them a little love and grab a lemonade while you are at it. And the Cherry Creek Orchard Festival is pitted for tomorrow. See what I did there? A peach pitted? Nah. It's from 9 to 6 tomorrow, Pontotoc at the Cherry Creek Orchards, 4660 Highway 345. Music, fun, food, vendors, and of course, millions of peaches. Isn't that how the song goes? Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us here on Mississippi Live. I'm Emily Leonard. Hey, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Go out there and enjoy a fun festival. We'll see you next time.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
This portion of Mississippi Live Weather is presented by Little's Jewelers.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's Mississippi's Chief Meteorologist, Matt Laupon.
Sun's out at the beach as we look down in the Biloxi area from our camera there, provided in part by the North Mississippi Storm Chasers. But of course, always prepping for hurricane season. But a pretty nice day, 91. It feels like 100 degrees there at the beach, which is similar to a lot of other spots where it is still fairly hot and sunny. We're going to come all the way back up north to Kosciuszko. 91 degrees right now as we look out there, our camera in the Kosciuszko area, sliding back out into the Delta where we had some showers up in northwest Mississippi earlier on. Still 102 in the Crenshaw area. Over in New Albany, this camera really looked rough for a little while earlier on. We're 81 degrees at this time. And hold on, I'm not sure. I need to double check, make sure my audio is working. Hold on. Check, check, check. Okay, yeah, it's working. Just got something behind the scenes there, made it look like it wasn't. But either way, New Albany, kind of left over what we call convective debris on those clouds, coming in 81 degrees at this instant, and sliding up to Iuka, where we had some showers around and not really the center point of that this time. 81 degrees there as well at our Farmers and Merchants Bank, looking out toward the Woodall Mountain area. Okay, one more. We'll slide down to Tupelo and show up with that temperature at right around 81 degrees. Pretty common on our Mitchell, Cunningham, and Bowling camera, which I was, saying that technically you could make the argument that that tomorrow morning's the time period you need to do some mowing of the lawn. Maybe it is, in fact, tonight, considering how things are looking out there. The active weather back out toward Georgia and the East Coast. All those yellow boxes you see there are severe thunderstorm warnings for storms ongoing back that direction, even a tornado warning closer to the Charlotte area. But our focus is going to be with this front back to the north and west. Now, it is getting more organized as we speak, but I think that this is going to be kind of the zone where we expect to have showers and thunderstorms eventually move in and probably become a big part of the forecast by your Saturday evening. So let's kind of walk through that here. Futurecast HRRR shows only a few showers out there as we go into this evening. Not a ton of activity. As that continues to kind of slide through and diminish, we should spend most of the overnight period fairly dry. So we go 76 degrees there in Oxford for a low temperature, as well as Houston, Starkville, and Macon. 76 Tupelo, a little above our normal for this time of the year. 75 degrees in Bruce and Eupora, and expecting again that day planner to have us 90 by noontime, 92 by afternoon. Most of your Saturday probably comes in dry until late in the day. Now, the timing on that chance for thunderstorms late in the day, that remains a bit of a question how this plays out. So we have those west and southwest sort of winds, that a direction that'll kind of keep us fairly dry, I think, through the day. We're noontime here, still dry, still looking at more activity up there into Tennessee. And really watch here into Arkansas. Is that batch of thunderstorms that gets going there closer to Jonesboro. See that? And then starts heading southeastward. The timing on this, a little different depending on which projection we're looking at here, but late tomorrow into tomorrow evening, tomorrow night is probably our peak time period, just how deep into the overnight hours. That's the question. So mid-90s, we're going 94 in Cleveland and Greenwood, 94 degrees in Grenada as well as Kosciuszko. Amory at 94, but it'll feel like 104 with that future heat index for tomorrow on the very elevated scale. And that does mean that wet bulb globe temperature, which looks at heat injury risk, In the Delta, we do have a few locations in the black extreme. And in this situation here, we do not want to be going out and overexerting ourselves because the opportunity for heat injury is significant for tomorrow. Even if you're in the red zone, just keep that in mind. I think more significant tomorrow than Sunday. Now, here's our severe weather risk. As you can see, really locations near the Tennessee state line under that level 2 out of 5, coming back to the number of reports. We expect to have the greatest number of reports in that zone. No tornado risk for tomorrow. It's damaging winds if we were to see something. Again, Kosciuszko, Louisville, Macon, a possibility. And really, this isn't tomorrow day. This is tomorrow night that we're looking at that potential extending into the pre-dawn hours of early Saturday morning. As you can see here, looking at very limited to non-zero chance for some hail with this, but more likely wind if we were to see something. Here's our line, already starting to kind of enter northwest Mississippi and getting a little heavier. Now, it is still broken. There's no organized rotation out of this, but if you can get little pockets to kind of accelerate, some strong wind gusts possible. This one up toward Boonville, we show 9:30 in the evening, could be one of those up here toward Florence, Alabama. And then this part here, Clarksdale, back toward around Sardis. Watch closely. We kind of get this one there that gets a little bit stronger, gets a little more north to south organized, could have some strong wind gusts with that. So you get the initial wave, and then you kind of get this secondary push here. We're 11:30, we're midnight. So I do think overnight, tomorrow night, some of these thunderstorms could potentially be strong to severe. With that timing, I think it's important to make sure we kind of have multiple ways we can find out if we're in the danger zone. Probably the easiest of those to utilize is weather call, because it'll call you and wake you up, even if it's the middle of the night or middle of the day, if severe weather storms are possible. There is a $15 a year charge that does go along with that, but it's what I have for my family. There are also, again, we always talk about building our armor, multiple layers for that. One of those, weather call, I think is probably the most important, but we want everything kind of going off at the same time. So we go, what's going on? Well, you wake up and then you kind of know. Tornadoes unlikely out of this, let's be clear, but some strong damage wind gusts, 60, 65 miles per hour do remain a possibility. Make sure you have layers. One of those layers, the Mississippi Live app. Those alerts are fast, but alerts can get silenced in the middle of the night, depending on what your phone settings are. So that's why, again, we always talk about weather call in this sort of situation. We'll start off in the lower to middle 70s, 75 in Columbus, 74 degrees Starkville, Macon. Again, pretty spot on for what we typically expect. As again, the humidity, the stickiness still probably there. Our severe weather risk on Sunday involves everybody. I think the better chance is probably whatever the overnight and the morning time period is, because it's going to be difficult for the atmosphere to kind of get reorganized and try to produce more storms. Now, 9, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, and we showed this at 5 o'clock, not much showing up on Futurecast, but watch the switch here as we change it over to our strike model, which has a lot more storms out there. Again, I think there's only so much fuel to go around. The overnight storms leading into early Sunday, if those are strong to severe, there's going to be a little less fuel for storms to kind of regenerate with on Sunday. So we do expect we'll have some, but I think we'll go 50% on that storm coverage on Saturday, and probably 40% as we look toward your Sunday. At the top of your screen, you kind of see it here. That represents our low pressure center kind of overhead. Now regenerate some storms into Monday, probably even into Tuesday of next week. So this is maybe one of the big stories here. High temperatures Sunday are going to be considerably cooler than on Saturday. So if you're planning some outdoor activities, just know that pool, if you want heat, lake, if you want heat, better on Saturday. If you're looking for maybe a cloudier sort of day, might still be continuing with some rain chances, but a little cooler with upper 80s there for highs. 103 or so for some of those heat indices at peak, but these are cooler than on Saturday. So there is a difference between those 2 days on how the temperatures work out. I reference this briefly for a second. We'll kind of widen it for a moment here. That low pressure center overhead continues to kind of be a focal point for rain chances and thunderstorms to continue to generate here as we go into Sunday evening and Sunday night. And positioning on it, we have the L here. Maybe we could scoot it down just a little bit depending on which projection you're looking at there. But we'll continue to kind of wrap around some at least limited rain chances there as we go into your Monday. What we are also bringing in northerly winds, less humid air, and that means maybe slightly cooler temperatures for Monday as well. So a little bit of an improvement there. again, working on the positioning on exactly how this lines up. We're hoping that this scoots a little farther east, draws in slightly more dry air, and makes it more pleasant to look toward Monday, and maybe shuts off some of the rain chances. I think we'll still have some, obviously, around going into Monday, in the Monday afternoon, and possibly into Monday evening. But notice we kind of switched around that direction, right? Watch the movement here. Northwest to northeast to southwest. I can't even say it right. That kind of opposite direction on how that plays out. So here's a look at that 7-day forecast. We're 50% on the coverage of storms on Saturday, 40% by Sunday, 50% from Monday. Again, with that low right overhead, we get the rising air and a chance for that rainfall to continue there. We're 30% for Tuesday, and then looking toward Wednesday, Thursday of next week, hopefully drying things out a little bit. It's that time of year we still have storms, but look at these highs. Mid-80s. That's a bit below what we should be for this time of year, and every day below normal for this time of year, I think is something we should prize. But rainfall over the course of the next couple of days could be heavy in some spots if you can get beneath a few of those thunderstorms. We're going to look at where that's most likely coming up right after this as Mississippi Live continues.
Every legend starts somewhere.
Not with perfection, but with the decision.
The decision to show up, work harder, and believe this place can change everything.
At Northeast, you're more than just a number.
We're built on opportunity, and our students are willing to rise to the occasion.
Here, success isn't handed to you. It's earned.
You don't just leave with a degree, you leave as a legend.
Hi, I'm Mississippi Live Chief Meteorologist Matt Laupon. Reserve your St. Jude Dream Home giveaway ticket by July 31st, and you'll be eligible to win the house and the early bird prize, a $10,000 gift card to Brooks Grocery. Visit dreamhome.org to reserve your ticket for $100 and help St. Jude Children's Research Hospital continue its life-saving work. Then watch Mississippi Live on October 29th to see who wins the house and the other prizes. Reserve your ticket today. Welcome back to Mississippi Live 5 with Chief Meteorologist Matt Laupon. Rainfall will obviously come down to where we end up having the most storms come through. I think we have a pretty decent batch late tomorrow night and early Sunday, representing some spots where you see the yellows and oranges, 2 or more inches of rain potentially possible out of this. Now, as we switch this over to our strike model, it has, again, another one, the big complex late Saturday night into early Sunday there, and then perhaps additional chances in the next week. On the wide scale, fairly decent amounts. There will be some spots that miss out on the worst of this, so, half an inch of rainfall or less, certainly on the table is a possibility, but also a few spots where you have the oranges there, potentially up in excess of 4 inches possibly to contend with. Hopefully that's not the case, but that could be something that we have, and we do still have a lot of folks under drought conditions, so that's something we'll be monitoring as well. Give me a moment here as when I go, I got to move one of my boxes here out of the way because I can't read. Sorry. Okay, so appreciate y'all watching. Someone mentioned a little earlier about the app not working. We were able to kind of get that up and going, and certainly things are doing all right. Some small shower came over our house, doing some mowing just in time. Well, looks like some folks also thinking about the mowing trend this evening, and thankful you guys are on there talking about that. As we kind of wrap up our broadcast here, I want to bring our Emily Leonard back in here for a moment, and she's going to kind of give us an idea of what we're working on for Mississippi Live coming up tonight at 9 and 10 p.m. Emily, what do you got?
Well, I've got a room full of people and animals at 6 o'clock, but coming up a little later on tonight, we brought you a story about the interim superintendent of Aberdeen. He was going to be the superintendent. Now he's not. But the reason why seems to be a little fuzzy. Well, we got some clarification from the Mississippi School Boards Association, and we will have what they had to say about the situation coming up tonight as well.
Okay, looking for that again tonight on Mississippi Live this evening. And hey, I really did like the whole fun thing. I think it's kind of cool to be able to kind of feature some of those fun things going on around the region. So we want folks to make sure that they send those in, right?
Yeah, earlier this morning, I posted on my Facebook, your Facebook, Mississippi Live's Facebook, all of the places, what's going on this weekend, because everybody says, you know, they're looking for something to do this weekend, big or small, no matter where it is in the area. Just jot it down, send some information in. You can also email me, and we'll try to get that on Fridays. It'll just kind of be just literally a fun thing to do.
I'm looking forward to that. So that's Emily at ms.live. That's it. I think that email address will work now. I think I've double checked it. We're gonna be switching some stuff around, but Emily at ms.live. There's about 7 different ways I can email. I think it's Emily at ms.live weather, Emily at ms.live news, Emily at ms.live sports.
Honestly, I'm pretty easy to find.
Yeah.
Sports.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think it worked. Hey, we all do a little sports here.
We all do a little bit of everything, don't we?
Yes, we do. Okay, so we will see you all coming up tonight, again, at 9 and 10 p.m. Our meteorologist, Caleb Edelblut, again, working on an album of pictures to showcase what you guys have seen over the course of the last 24 hours or so with some storms that came through the area. And he'll have a look at the latest on the timing of those storms tomorrow night, what that means for the severe weather threat this week. And that's coming up on Mississippi Live tonight at 9 and 10 p.m. We hope you'll join us. And again, thank you to our premier partner, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Get those St. Jude Dream Home tickets. $100 could win you a home built by Tucker Construction in the Spring Lake subdivision in Tupelo. A home valued at $725,000. Either way, it's a good deal, helping to try to save kids with cancer. We'll see you tonight at 9 and 10. And thank you so much for supporting us on Mississippi Live.